GM everyone. Welcome to the weekly up sprint. It is August 22nd, 2022. And first up, we got support and Donna. GM Donna.
GM everyone. For support stats this week, we had 54 new tickets, which is a 35% decrease from last week's report. Full resolution median time is up to 22 hours, which is up from 8 hours last week. This is due to a couple of security tickets have come up on the queue, which we kept open for a while we send it to the ops and the engineering team for review. And then first reply time is at 48 minutes. 48% of the tickets were solved in one touch. Total solved tickets is at 56 tickets, which is also a 35% decrease from the previous week's report. And then we had 1,765 help desk views last week, which is up from the previous week's 1,500 help desk views. We also have a new article up created by Mogi entitled How to Toggle Between ETH and AVAX Chains. Link is on the spreadsheet if you guys want to check it out. Basically, that's all for me today. Have a good morning, everyone.
GM Donna, thank you for those updates. Next up, we got H-Pain and Marketing. GM H-Pain.
GM Ron, it is wonderful to hear your voice this morning. So last week we had a new development. Lindsay Liu left. It was her last day on Friday. She will be greatly missed. With that being said, it's now Arena and I and the rest of the other marketing peeps just out here. So that is the status of us now. We've been transitioning to developing new partnership workflow and comms development as we sort of figure out how we are going to make that work moving forward. We also worked on a Git POAP launch. Make sure if you've contributed to any of the code on ShapeShift, you grab your Git POAP. It's super easy. Check out the Twitter. There's a bunch of links. Super awesome. Additionally, you can now purchase AVAX with Banksa. That went live on Monday. Very exciting as well. If you're an AVAX hodler or user, you can now buy that on our site. Very exciting, as well as pushing our Litecoin capabilities on our app. Additionally, newsletter format will be live in HTML by the end of the month. So at the end of the month, make sure you stay tuned for the new newsletter. It's going to be very exciting. This week, we have a Fringe Finance AMA on Friday and a Share AMA on Wednesday, led by Willie and those people. You will not want to miss either of those. Also, stay tuned to learn more about Bitcoin Cash, as well as some of the other partners that we've integrated up until this point, as we touch back on some of them. We are also waiting on an engineering go for Osmo, but we are standing by for that. And that's all we have for marketing today. Have a GM Ron.
Thanks, H-Pain, for those updates. Next up, we got the Smith and Globalization. Maybe Vlad will be coming up too?
Yeah, I can find him. Okay, I can find him. Okay, just invited Vlad. So, GM everybody, I'm gonna start with the globalization updates. So, first one, we just delivered the German app translation. We added 4,000 words in ShapeShift repository. We did some pull requests in ShapeShift web, updating French, Portuguese, and Spanish languages for the app. We've been translating .com with Wiglot too. It's pretty easy and handy. We did a photos giveaway between the Brazilian and the Spanish Twitter. We did some promos there with a Coinex airdrop. We're growing both profiles organically. We had at least 20% in growth from the past week to now. Also, 3 Twitter spaces in a row. The Coinex Twitter spaces, they're doing good with me and Witty. And the Brazilians, the Brazil Dream Team, that Vlad can talk a little bit about this specific Twitter space. Groups around 75 and 100 people. Vlad, want to talk a little bit about the event agenda?
Yeah, no, it was the encounter. It was very cool, and the Spanish team is killing with those Twitter Space since we launched Twitter. They started like to do one after another, which was cool. And another thing from Globalization, if you go to Fox Tokens room in Discord right now, you can see that now we have like translatable messages in Discord. So we've been playing around with this tool of translating. So not just translating the website and the app, we're like making the effort of having like our Discord in all this language. And if you react to the emoji of the flag, the message translates itself, so it's cool. And I think it's important for the users we're bringing in. And yeah, I think you cover, and yeah, we also making plans with Cosmoverse and build up some cool merch. I don't know if you can talk about the merch yet, but today we get the first test of the cards of Cosmoverse. Gonna be beautiful, the space one. But I'll drop in the chat when it's ready.
And we also have local event agenda in Rio. So we have 2 events in the next week. We are planning our travel, but yeah, we'll be attending in real life in Blockchain Rio and Rio Crypto Hub, both local events. They are very cool. It will be great to engage the Brazilian community and nurture all these partnerships that we've been working around.
And the Smith's gonna talk in both.
Yeah, and you too, though.
No, you.
That's all. That's all for globalization. Thank you.
Thanks to Smith and Vlad. Next up, we got GK in the Mod Squad. GK.
GM. I have the 7-day forecast. No, we had 25 new users this week, and then the last 2 weeks was 29. We had 3 raids, and Vlad stole my thunder with this message. I only got a few things I can actually speak about, so I need to go before the globalization. I think the welcome category has been replaced for the Fox token channel. It's you can click on links and it'll automatically change. And Vito helped over there, I guess. And pretty quick, it looks like they just finished the exchange and wallets one, so I'll be replacing that next. And I think there's a third one that they're working on too. That's all I got.
Awesome, thanks GK. Next up, we got Diggy in the product team. Diggy.
GM. GM, everybody. So lots going on product as usual. The multiple accounts spec and UX, we revisited some of that last week after our sync up with engineering. And I think that's good and ready to go now. But yeah, it touches multiple accounts, touches a lot of places throughout the web app. So that's probably going to be pretty big. Wallet Connect 2 spec and UX was also updated based on review last week. And then there's a kickoff for that this afternoon. The Mount Pelerin fiat ramp, there was a PR up, or I guess like a first draft of it. It looks like it's just going to be too much work with this bounty hunter to get it over the finish line, so we're going to reassign that. And then backup native wallet, I saw that I think on Friday, DeFi told me that one was up, so hopefully we'll have the ability to back up native wallets for our native wallet users very soon. And then I also saw, I think that Stacked Q put up a PR for the old farming contracts on the web app. So this will allow, this will help us with the migration for any users that are using the ShapeShift legacy mobile application. There are some users still staked in old contracts. This will allow them to unstake from those old farming contracts. And then MetaMask Snaps, the spec's ready for that. So I think we're just waiting on Pasta, and like a week or so we'll meet up again on that. Once they're more ready for the front end work. And then starting on a spec for Thorchain liquidity providing this week. Also syncing up with engineering, we're hashing out a timeline for beta migration and some of the upcoming, some of the work that's currently in progress and some of the stuff that's coming up. I'm sure DeFi will touch on that. And then office hours for product is on Thursday, so please attend. Thanks.
Awesome, thanks Diggy. Next up, we got DeFi Cafe and Engineering. GM DeFi.
Morning. Fox LP and farming, kind of the last PRs there, kind of identified a kind of technical thing we're doing, like a lot of overfetching. So like engineering work stream and the community contributor sat down like Friday afternoon and we kind of came up with a proof of concept there, and looks like we've got a really nice solution that will reduce a lot of fetching related to both the new swapper and like inferior requests, which we got rate limited before. Kevin's done a great job on the hosted Midgard for Thorchain. The infrastructure's in a really good spot there, which is great. YAT PRs are coming in, that stuff's in review. And we've got kind of an accelerated migration plan in discussion with Foundation and product. So just trying to figure out how we can get some of the key stuff required for parity prioritized on the engineering and product roadmap. And we've got a variety of other stuff in progress too. So that's it from engineering. Quick update this week.
Thanks, DeFi. Next up, we got operations, which I will be taking over for going forward, so I'll change that. New marketing feature release update thread. You can find that in Ops Public. I put up a proposal to get the conversation started about ETH Denver. There are some early bird specials that we can get if we were to pay by the September 30th date, and it could help with the costs for ETH Denver if we wanted to go that route. So if you go check out that forum post and leave some feedback, and we can be sure to get that incorporated into any proposal if we decide to go that route. Treasure report, there was 5 new items this week. 0 resolved, 3 UI UX, 1 wallet, 1 trade DeFi and 1 mobile app. Tyler's proposal for the marketing interim workstream leader is up in the snapshot under the new snapshot rules. So it's posted both in the forum and on snapshot. So if you have any comments, be sure to post it there and to get your word out and vote. The goat farm, there's a bunch of them that are currently on with flags. Multi-currency, Beesh, AVAX, Osmos off with the flag, so it's Cow Swap, Fox Farming, Fox LP, and I think we were testing those towards the end of last week, and those are getting real close. The making progress yet is fox.shapeshift.com migration, complete user migration, idle finance, Thorchain, and chain agnosticism. Bounties for the week, there's 59 PRs and 4 repos by 13 contributors, no new contributors, no new bounties, and 0 closed. Next up, we got Kent's Tokenomics. GM Kent.
GM Ron and GM fellow Foxes. So yeah, looking ahead to the rest of the week in tokenomics, at a high level, of course, just in terms of prices, we've sort of seen this reemergence of a bearish realization that, well, the macro still sucks. So just everybody prepare yourself for more downside and the despair that comes with a failed rally potentially. Regardless of that, regardless of what Fox does, of course, we still have our 11 to 12 months of runway currently. One thing that could impact things moving forward is the ongoing tribe situation. So for anybody that missed it, late last week, there was a proposal from Fei Lab to effectively wind down the Fei stablecoin protocol as it exists right now. Fei does hold a good amount of Fox related to our liquidity as a service arrangement we had previously. Currently, that would be distributed, I believe, on a pro rata basis to holders of Tribe. That would be something that would potentially, in a way, it could be good for ShapeShift, as it would put the token in more people's hands. Of course, we could see some sell pressure as a result of that too, but all things considered equal, that would not be the worst thing. It's important to note this is currently a tentative proposal, or it's something that's in their governance process right now. It's being debated, but we'll certainly be discussing that a bit more tomorrow. Another interesting factor is just watching the peg of Fei, because we have our Rari loans out. If it were to be depeg substantially, that would obviously be great. We could potentially pay out those loans for pennies on a dollar. Currently, though, it is holding its peg. CoinGecko was showing a strong divergence over the week or over the weekend. I don't know. Maybe they're not pulling data from Uniswap and or Curve accurately, but if you look at those sources, I know at least Uniswap, it is holding its peg thus far, and it does appear to be sufficiently collateralized. But that said, I mean, there's a lot of turmoil right now, so we'll be looking at that closely. Ron, you had wondered if potentially if it drops off its peg, we may want to pay down that loan or a big portion of it on Pool 7 especially. That would seem like a good idea, but we'll keep an eye on that as it progresses. In terms of stablecoin diversification in the wake of the Tornado Cash stuff and the notion that holding USDC could be riskier, the TMDC chose last week to allocate 20K worth of its weekly bond proceeds into LUSD. So that way we're able to gradually, accumulate this alternative stable coin, which is more decentralized, I think. In terms of ongoing research, so we've covered so far via our ShapeShift Labs research initiative, we've talked about Optimism and Arbitrum. Those are the two variants of optimistic rollups on Ethereum. Now it's time to pivot over to ZK land. So in the coming weeks, we'll be discussing Starkware, ZK Sync, and all that fun stuff. And then finally, we'll have our Prime DAO Fox listing going live shortly. This is, again, a non-committal way to get Fox essentially sort of like listed and visible on a site that specializes in DAO-to-DAO token swaps. So regardless of what the market's doing, DAO-to-DAO token swaps could be a really good thing for ShapeShift. If we're talking about swapping Fox rather than our limited stables. So we will let everybody know when that is live. And we'll talk about that more tomorrow. So hope everybody has an awesome week.
Thanks, Scott. Next up, we got Willie Fox and the Fox Foundation. GM Willie. And also Ocean. GM Ocean.
GM.
Hey, PTT. How's it going?
Good. How are you guys?
Doing well, thanks.
Best day ever. Got to slip that in there.
Awesome. All right, so SCP-97 passed. So I think Willie very nicely updated the governance process. So just a reminder that we're using Snapshot now for ideation polling until we can get over to Metaphoro. Willie, do you want to talk on Metaphoro real quick?
Yeah, they continue to push new updates. We just got an update from this morning, in fact, that they will have the ability for Gnosis Safes to be the admin of Metaphoro in a week, which is awesome. That was kind of one of the final remaining nice to haves that wasn't necessarily a requirement to migrate because we don't have that capability currently on the forum. And the fact that it was on their roadmap and they were researching it was an improvement in and of itself. But again, just the fact that they've already turned around and said they'll have that functionality in a week is, again, just more testament that I think Metaphoro is the best solution for not only our forum, but for our ideation process as well. If you guys haven't checked out Metaphoro yet, now's the time to do so. Got some links in the off-sprint sheet for you to check them out, and I'll go ahead and post this in the stage chat as well if you guys want to play around with it. Now is the time to give feedback on anything that you would like to see or anything that you would need to see before you'd be in favor of us migrating our forum. Or alternatively, if you have any other suggestions, now's the time for us to consider them. But so far, the feedback around Metaphoro has been overwhelmingly positive. Looks like everyone who has voted so far is in favor of us switching over to Metaphoro from Discourse. So now the action item is on me to get that ideation post up and follow this new snapshot process. So thank you, Tyler, for spearheading and pioneering that new ideation process. I expect to have this proposal up this week. Started working on it and just need to give it a little bit more love. So stay tuned for the ideation to migrate our forum and ideation process to Metaphoro. And please check out the tool in the meantime and give any feedback. Their team's been very receptive to feedback so far.
Thanks, Willie. Hopefully SCP-97 will be like the shortest lived governance proposal that passed ever, which is great. As I think was mentioned in the engineering and product updates, the web user migration is potentially delayed just due to some features that are being, I guess, prioritized, and we're working through that with some different ideas on how we might be able to resource things to speed the process up to make sure that we're able to get users migrated off of the beta platform as soon as possible. On that same vein, the mobile app development is going well and moving along on schedule. Happy to post the project board if anyone's interested in following along there. It's publicly available on the GitHub repo as well. And then just a brief update that Michelle has left the foundation team in order to focus on her full-time role with CASA. So just a heads up there. I don't think she was interacting very much with the DAO, but just wanted to keep everyone informed. And then I think that's, yeah, all we've got from the foundation today.
Awesome. Thanks, Ocean. Now would be the time if anyone had anything else to bring it up. And if not, we give everyone a few minutes back and call it a good GM.
Happy Monday. Have a great GM, everybody. Thanks,
Have a
Ron.
great GM, everybody.